You know what song stuck in my head? Watermelon Sugar. Watermelon Sugar, ah. Is that how it goes? Something like that. Hairstyles is a fucking genius. Well, hold on. Let me back up. Sign of the Times is probably my favorite music video in the last 20 years. That's an amazing song. It's an amazing video. And I will say that, yes, Harry Styles is a genius, but his natural ability met a juggernaut of an A&R man in Simon Cowell when he was young. And there you go. It doesn't take a village to do shit. It doesn't take a village to raise a family or a child or anything. But it does take a small group of interdependent people working for a goal. And that's what Simon Cowell has always had around him. That's what Jimmy Iovine has always had around him. That's what Barry Gordy has always had around him. And that's why those guys are the greatest A&R men in the history of the world. There's some guys that have had some lucky breaks. You know, you discovered some street rat crack dealer that, had a couple of hits. But for the long term, 30, 40, 50, 60 years? No, absolutely not. I mean, you can look at YouTube, man. Look at some of those acts back in the 90s, you know, their big hits have 30 million views on them. And what's that kid's name? Little pump, little peck, peep, poop, 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 poop. He's got a song that he self-produced called Gucci Gang. It's got 2 billion hits on it. Just some kid. Not Tupac, not Biggie, who were lukewarm celebrities in their day, but after they died were made to be some sort of deities, which they're not, and they weren't. I mean, Tupac went to a performing arts high school, one of the top performing arts high schools on planet Earth. He was best friends with Jada Smith. Okay? He got to play gangster rapper, and it got him shot a couple times, and then eventually they killed him. And a lot of people don't want to accept that. He was a Hollywood personality, not a thug angel, not any of this kind of shit. He was a Hollywood personality, like an actor, like a newscaster, like a rock star. That's all he was. You couldn't put any of those rap acts on a single bill at the Garden in 1996 and sell it out. Because none of them did. And if you could, you would have. The Fugees didn't even do that, and they were the third hottest act in hip hop in the entire 90s. They still always toured with a big bill, with a festival. The only reason why Jay-Z did it is because he's from New York and there was nobody else. You know? It's marketing. Brilliant A&R men. You want to be something special in the music business? Be an A&R man. Be a A&R man. It's going to take a while to get there. But if I was under the age of 25 and I was plopped down in the middle of New York City or in LA or Nashville, it was kind of understood that I was a hometown good singer, never going to be a worldwide sensation, I would accept it, and I'd get into a mailroom somewhere. I just would be an A&R man. They make the money. They are the creative Spengalis of the music business, and they are absolute geniuses at it. You just have to look at, Simon Cowell, like I said, Barry Gordy, Jimmy Iovine. Everyone you listened to in the 90s or in the 2000s was because of Jimmy Iovine or Simon Cowell. Everyone back in the day, Barry Gordy. You know, they were just fucking beyond genius, man. I couldn't even imagine. Oh, God. But seriously, young millennials under the age of 30, stop bitching, stop complaining, and stop doing nothing. Those opportunities exist. You have to get up off your ass and move and go where the action is. And you have to actually put in the hours because that's how it's done. You can't just bitch and moan and will yourself to success. You actually have to put in the hours and go where the action is. That's something that a lot of people don't want to hear, especially under the age of 30. There's an age group of the millennials, man. They were probably born between like 94, 95, and like the late 90s. So like maybe like 96 to like 99. That group that was born in that time period. Man, I know you guys were little kids when 9/11 happened, but you got to get over that, man. You got to get over that. No more student loans, no more credit cards, no more having kids out of wedlock before you're financially stable, no more drugs, no more alcohol. Just go on the cell phone to do business. No more of this internet documentary conspiracy bullshit. I mean, everything that's plagued you guys. Watching people chew gum for 5 hours a day. All this bizarre bullshit. You have to stop. You're older now. You're not little kids anymore. You're not youth anymore. These kids that are coming up now are eating your lunch. They can't even drink yet. And you know what? You can call me a piece of shit for saying that, but you guys know it. That's the bitch of it. You guys know that these young kids are cleaning your fucking clock. In everything. In internet businesses, in brick and mortar businesses, in sales, in relationships, in family, in political views, in straight intelligence and creativity. You guys are just sitting on your asses. You don't want to hear it, and a lot of people are too afraid to tell it to you, but it's true. That age group, man, you're something else. I hope the kids that lived through COVID 20 years from now aren't like you. I hope they get over it. I hope they handle that a little bit better than you guys have handled having to grow up in a post 9/11 world. The first generation that's had to grow up in a post 9/11 world. You guys didn't handle that very well. And I hope the young kids that had to grow up in a post COVID world handle it a lot better than you guys had to grow up in a post 9/11 world. Because it's sad. Your fucking heads were spinning. After Trayvon Martin and Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and all this bullshit, you had no idea what you were talking about. You spewed your venom left and right until you were exhausted, which is exactly what you are now. Exhausted. You're tired. You're done. You burned yourselves out over nothing. Talking shit online like somebody gives a shit. Nobody saw your Facebook post. Nobody cared about it either. Went to protests. Tore up the whole town. A lot of good that did. Did they fix the town up after you did that? Or is it still a shithole? And is the guy still dead? Or are those cops still breathing? It's the system, man. You got to work with the system. You're never going to fight it. There's laws and procedures and traditions and fuck you-ness that have been in play for hundreds of years. And your dumbass and your Black Lives Matter t-shirt aren't going to change that. Sorry to tell you, sister, you're not. And deep down inside, you know it. You know it. You can look in the mirror and know that you're defeated. At least when it comes to that. At least when it comes to being a snowflake. At least when it comes to being a social justice warrior. You're done. It's over. It wasn't a revolution. It was a mouse fart. And now, the real work begins. Your lives begin, whatever's left of them. The ones that didn't have kids out of wedlock. The ones that aren't in jail. The ones that aren't addicted to drugs and alcohol. The ones who haven't completely destroyed their lives and are sitting on the side of the road somewhere can still start off somewhere small and work your way up because you're young enough to do it and you're ambitious enough to do it and you're energetic enough to do it. That's not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. And if I were you, I would do it now. You can comment on this video all you want. Guess what? I don't read comments, and I don't give a shit if anyone else does either. This video is not going to be taken down. I'm not taking it down. It's life advice from somebody who's 20 years older than you, who lived through this shit, and have watched you guys destroy half of your generation over nothing. Over nothing. What'd you get out of it? Did you become rich? Did any laws get changed? Did the powers that be all end up in jail or hang from the nearest tree? No. Quite the opposite. Take a look around. You know it too, don't you?